All right. Looks like I'm here. Uh, hey everyone, how's it going? If you're out there, don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. Uh, kind of figuring out all of this stuff as we go. So definitely let me know how things sound. I'm trying to figure out the audio balance and everything. I hope I've already got a good setup, but if anything is uh, too obnoxious or anything, absolutely let me know. So I can go ahead and try to fix that up. But otherwise, yeah, let's get this started. As you may have seen, hopefully have seen, my name is Azabiel. I'll go into the fine details a bit more in a moment, but to keep the introduction of the introduction brief, I am a multiverse-traveling storyteller and guild master who's just out here to have a good time and relax. And that's what I want for anyone watching as well. Anytime you see me on here, don't hesitate to stop by, get comfortable, and hopefully chill out a little bit. Now, I'm calling this the first guild meeting. To give some context, I am the guild master of the Guild of Legends. Again, discuss that in just a second, but the purpose of guild meetings like this is to have an opportunity for me to openly talk to all of you about what's going on with the streams and anything the guild might have going on. In this case, it's my whole debut introduction. After the introduction, of course, we're going to move into some Satisfactory to round out the stream. Just a nice, relaxing game to pop into for a while, and one that I am quite a fan of. I'm planning to run maybe grand total of 3 hours tonight, so we'll see how much gameplay we can get through. I don't know off the top exactly how long this whole introduction part is going to take, but we'll find out together pretty soon. And with that out of the way, let me go ahead and pull up the guild's ledger. We can get into all of that. All right, and there I am. With the ledger open to my personal page here, it kind of lays out the whole thing for you. So we're just going to go ahead and start at the top left, move down onto the next page in the same order. So we're starting off with some basic info here. As I've mentioned, my name is Azabiel. You may see that I am referred to as an eternal pioneer. This is the name that we at the guild came up with to describe people like me who regularly travel the multiverse, always exploring new universes and seeing all the great things they have to offer. I am, in fact, a human, like many of you, perhaps most of you, we'll see. I have a background as a storyteller. That means, what I do when I'm not traveling the multiverse, going on adventures, things like that. I stick around the guild and I spread out some of the stories from those many, many universes that I travel. I am a mere 5'8", which is a perfectly acceptable height. And my birthday is actually not too far off. So, well, birthdays can seem complicated when you're in the middle of the multiverse. We don't exactly have time here, but if we put it into the time frame of your universe, at least, that is May 16th. It's just a week away from today, actually. I don't have anything big planned, but maybe I'll do a stream on the day, do a bit of a guild meeting, have a bit of a chat, and maybe some more calm gaming like we're going to do tonight. And if any of you want to pop in, say happy birthday, or just say hello, I would absolutely appreciate it. Now, moving on through my sheet, we've got my okay, let's just ignore this first one. This was not every let's just focus on the other skills. We don't need to look at that first one. As you can see, I am quite proficient with encounter crafting, as well as homebrew crafting and performance to a fair degree. However, you can also see that I specialize in game mastery and multiverse lore. Need a bit of that lore knowledge if you're going to be an eternal pioneer after all. Now, moving on to the Stronghold section, as you can see here, the guild actually does have a physical location. I had wanted to do this whole intro inside the guild hall so you could all get a look at the Nexus, the Astral Gate, and everything, but it's all currently under renovation, so it's hardly any condition to be on camera. Instead, we're just gonna hang out on the front step here, taking a good look at the astral sunset over the horizon of the first star. It's another name for the heart of the multiverse. I hope you're enjoying the view as much as you can see with all of my things here in the way, but let's go ahead and move on here. Oh, and before I forget, kind of skipping over things a little bit, the emblem here that you see, also worn on my cloak here, is the emblem of the Guild of Legends. Just a nice, simple emblem, kind of representative of the guild itself. Now, moving on to preferences, I think this is going to be a little bit more familiar for people in this space, in this streaming world that we find ourselves in. So starting at the top, we've got hobbies. Obviously, number one, tabletop RPGs. Dabbled with TTRPGs throughout my life, but really only within the last 10 years or so did it really kick off for me, personally. I think at least part of that, I think that's pretty common, pretty similar for a lot of people lately, coming into the hobby with how everything has been going and how online streaming and such has really made it blow up. Following that, the next big one is probably hoarding dice. Kind of goes hand in hand with all of the TTRPGs and other tabletop gaming I enjoy. The dice just kind of come naturally. All pretty much started with a gift of a pound of dice one day some time ago, and it has spiraled since. But there's always room for more. Go ahead and pop right below the hobbies there to favorite music genre, which I'm considering kind of a lo-fi hip-hop to be my favorite overall genre right now. I feel like if there's anything that any genre I could throw on at any given time and it's always going to be a hit for me, it's going to be this kind of lo-fi, very relaxed kind of sound. And for a while it was exclusively the music I would listen to while driving and going out and things like that, just to really keep calm and relaxed and all that good stuff. Going right over to the music artists here, staying on that music subject, top 3 current favorites for me right now: Royal Blood, Magic Sword, and Poets of the Fall. First came across Royal Blood through an ad for a video game at one point. Used one of their songs. Ended up completely forgetting what the ad was for. Had no idea what the song or artist was, and with a little bit of internet digging, found Royal Blood and consistently have them as a top artist in my regular playlist. Magic Sword I found through a mention on a YouTube video, just like a gaming let's play once a while back, and I have actually found that it's a really nice discography to throw on as kind of background music for myself while playing TTRPGs once in a while. And finally, Poets of the Fall. First got my attention in the Alan Wake game series, a favorite game of mine as well. Not one of my tops, I don't think, but it's definitely up there. But this is about the music. Ever since I first heard their music in Alan Wake, though, I have listened to their music pretty consistently since. All right, and moving on down the list here, we're going to food and drinks, starting with the food. Anyone who knows me knows the first one on the list here is blatantly obvious. Always know that if there are tacos on offer, I am almost certainly on board. Ends up being one of the things that I actually make the most, I think, for myself at home. Just a nice, simple thing, and it's always good. Beyond that, barbecue is... Barbecue, I think I would put up there as well. I think the only reason I'd probably turn it down is I've already had so much that there's just physically no room for more. Really, any kind. It's all good. And then chicken katsu. That's something I've only recently had for the first time. And as simple as it felt, I feel like I could really keep going back for it over and over. If, you know, if the money were not an issue, I would be on that constantly until I explode or something. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the drinks here. First one is kind of a problem. Far too much soda. Always had a bad habit, but you know, I would be a liar if I didn't put it there. But, you know, lately I'm trying to make a change, trying to cut that out a little bit, try to be a bit healthier. Moving on from that is going to be orange or apple juice. Really couldn't pick a favorite over the two of them. I always go for those for breakfast and things like that. Sometimes both if I'm feeling especially spicy. But yeah, then we have pear or apple cider. And when I say cider, I mean what is called hard cider in the US. I don't drink often, but when I do, it usually is some kind of cider. My preferred ones being pear and apple. Now, moving on to the video games. As you can see, number one on the list there is just a single game, not an entire series or anything. It is Satisfactory, the very video game we will be playing a little bit later after I finish all of this. I only got into this game within the last year, but it really dug into my free time pretty heavily. And I can say without a doubt that it is a current favorite. Legend of Zelda and Metroid following up on that list. Just the entire, both series, the entire thing. I'll take it all. Kind of grew up with these titles. Really latched onto them more as time went on. I could say this probably about a lot of games from when I was younger, but these series have felt like they've held on better than some others. And then stepping away from the video games, going over to tabletop games, because I do play a fair bit of tabletop games. Unfortunately, it's been a bit since I've done any non-RPG based tabletop gaming, but hopefully soon I can fix that. Number one on the list, Betrayal at House on the Hill. My family, this game became the king of weekly game days we would do. I'd gotten the legacy version, but I never had a chance to play it all the way through. But I've also played not only the base game, also the expansion that adds another level to the house and everything. but also Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, which kind of mixes my love for typical tabletop games as well as my love for tabletop RPGs. Hey, Dragon, how's it going? Moving on from Betrayal is Dominion. I have always been a fan of deck building games, so I had to do Dominion on the list. It's feels like kind of a classic, and just has always stuck in the frequently played games in my family's weekly game days. And then we have Castles of Mad King Ludwig. This is a bit of a different game that I discovered through my family's weekly game days as well. That is really, you might be noticing the trend. All of my tabletop gaming experience is almost exclusively with my family. I am lucky to have a family of nerds. But yeah, another family favorite. Neat little game about building wacky castles out of various room tiles. Definitely considered using it before to design nonsensical TTRPG dungeons as well. But maybe one day I'll actually make that kind of nonsense happen. Let me go ahead and adjust something here. This is some of my UI stuff was a little janky looking. There we go. I apologize for the pause there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get back into it. Absolutely rounded out the basic Guild of Legends character sheet. Maybe if I can find an excuse, we'll see more reasons to bring up designs like this for things for the channel in the future. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing I would like to go over, which is going to be that's going to be my there I go, ruining things again. Don't worry, it's great. Embrace the nonsense. This is going to be my goals. Number one on the top of the list, create a chill atmosphere. I just want to make a place where anyone can find a relaxed space to enjoy some fun banter and gameplay. That is the whole idea here. Everything is supposed to ideally be nice and calm, nice and relaxed. Following that up, if it wasn't clear enough from all of my nonsense on the previous page, I am obsessed, I would say, with TTRPGs. And with this streaming platform, I would also like to launch a live TTRPG campaign in the future. It's my biggest hobby and favorite way to make and spend time with friends, so I want to extend that into this space. And if in doing so, I can introduce others to the kinds of deep and wild stories you can fall into with these games, all the better. Number 3 on the list here, collabing with other creators. This has been one of the bigger things I've been interested in since I've been thinking about getting into this space. There are a lot of great people that I've seen and some that I've even met in the VTuber community, and I'm looking forward to meeting them all and conning them into playing both video games and tabletop games with me. Moving on from there, I, like many others in this space, just want to promote great artists and other streamers. I have the fortune of being able to do this as kind of a side thing for myself. So there's really little pressure on myself to make it any kind of a career. But I know some others that go into this space have a bit more of a need to make it successful in a monetizable way. So I'm eager to help in that by trying to promote the cool people that I meet along the way. In addition to other streamers, I've always been an addict for art commissions for my own TTRPG characters, which is extending now into this space. So I'm always excited to show off new artwork and promote those creators as well. And it doesn't inherently tie into VTuber streaming, but cosplay is going to be another goal on the list here. Pretty straightforward. A lot of people know what cosplay is, dressing up as cool characters from various media, you know, that sort of a thing. Always been interested myself, but I haven't ever made the move to try doing it. So maybe as I'm getting into this more, I might start leaning into that field and trying to make some physical things instead of just digital things. But let's go ahead and move forward here. I've got another page for you guys to see, which feels only right. This is going to be some credits. I've only got a couple of creators to credit for the time being. I'm sure that'll change in the future, but you'll find links to these guys in the description below. The first is Anno Domini Beats. For the time being, my streams are making use of some royalty-free music. It was listed as not needing any kind of credit or anything, but it just feels right. So that's what we have going for right now. Moving on from there, we've got Jello Duck, who is the artist that created the very nice likeness that you see speaking to you at this very moment. And without the work done to put a face to the voice, I may not be doing this right now. And last but certainly not least, I can't deny the important role played in starting this entire endeavor by my good friend Dragon Durant of the Yasuhiro 0088. You might see him in the chat right now. I've been lucky to have him there to give some advice for all of this when needed, and his own streaming was the original inspiration for all of this. So, Dragon Durant, thank you, buddy. All right. That is I don't know what happened to the page there. It looks like it just reset it. But let's go ahead, bring it over here, as that is all of the main things I prepared for you. I feel like it simultaneously, while I was putting it together, felt like it was going to last 5 hours and also that it was going to last 5 seconds. So we're somewhere in the middle. I think we made it work out pretty decently, which gives us plenty of time, I suppose, to do some other things. As I mentioned, we're planning to jump into Satisfactory in a moment here, and I'm going to be starting an entirely brand new game in that, and seeing how far we can get, what we can make. It's one of those games you just kind of go in and you just start putting things together. There's no real specific end goal exactly, but yeah. So just give me a moment here while I get all of this ready for you guys. Is absolutely a situation where I am just a little bit less prepared than I thought I was. Just going to be a moment here. I don't know why this is giving me some trouble. All right. So here we have Satisfactory. You know what? I absolutely forgot to turn off that BGM. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and figure out how to start this game. I have played this game quite a fair bit already. I've started in both the grass fields and the dune desert in the past, so I think I'm going to look at the rocky desert or northern forest this time. And let's go with the rocky desert. That seems fun. And we need a name. There we go. It's been, I think it's been a few weeks at least, if not at least a month since I've played this game last. I know there's been no major changes in that time, but they are working on a new update that is going to revamp one of the zones in the game pretty heavily. So I'm looking forward to that, exploring that. There's still a lot in this game that I haven't seen as far as the different biomes and terrain and such goes. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I am no expert at how to optimize my machines in this game. I am sometimes a nightmare when it comes to building horrible abominations of factories. So we're just gonna have to kind of put up with it for the duration of tonight's stream.
Attention Pioneer. The following instructional video is a summary of your impending duties as an exoplanetary pioneer.
All right.
For Fixit
And
Incorporated. Fixit pioneers have
again, if there is anything that
ultimately
doesn't come through very well in regards to the stream, absolutely let me know, so we can try to get the smoothest experience for everyone.
Chart the planet and gather resources to provide desired results and improve your infrastructure. Make sure to report any unusual discoveries to R&D for analysis.
You know, there was an option to skip all this that I could have done, but it is what it is. We're gonna get the whole intro experience.
And pipelines through automation and augmentation. That's it. Get to work and be effective. Warning, planetfall imminent. Please remain seated during full procedure. Atmospheric entry in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Planetfall procedure initialized.
Incredible. All right. So I'm not even sure if I have delved into this particular biome itself very much. I know I've wandered through a lot of the world in the game, but this may be a whole new experience to me as well.
Please ensure the integrity of your multi-purpose exploration suit is at 100%. Remember, efficiency first. Godspeed.
Hey, Zero G, how's it going, buddy? All right, we've done it. We're on the planet. We survived.
Planet Massage 2 ABB, your designated sector in the binary star system of Akija.
It won't let me take it.
I am Ada, also known as Artificial Directory and Assistant, tasked to support pioneers, such as you, in their mission. You are the third of your sector to survive planetfall. Congratulations. Note: objective-based introduction initialized. Welcome to onboarding.
All right. I think it's going to keep talking at me in a minute. There it is.
Dismantle the drop pod. The resulting materials will be repurposed to construct a habitat and utility base, from now on referred to as the hub. Note: Fix-It Incorporated is cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste.
Now I need to remember controls.
All
I
important Fix-It data and communication is recorded and
don't
stored
know
in
how to do
context,
anything.
including these steps.
There we go. Oh, I'm just whacking all kinds of buttons now. Nope, don't want to clap. Oh, I am a nightmare. I can't remember one particular button, and it's not telling me how to do it. Surely. I've definitely hit that button. Let me... Okay. I have to wait. I was too impatient.
Please ensure you have your Fix-It Incorporated Xeno Zapper equipped before leaving the drop zone. Note: According to Fix-It regulations, every pioneer should have access to a means of defense against extraterrestrial threats.
Haha, I have an inventory now. Still can't do
Third objective:
building.
Please familiarize yourself with the resource scanner to find iron. Note: The acquisition of iron is considered essential in preparation for all future objectives.
The resource scanner. There we go. So I have a fair bit of iron this way, it looks like, so I'm probably going to go that way. That big dude over there, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Kind of just popped in out of nowhere for a second there. Might be due to the settings I have this game on. Yeah, these guys, big, real big, gentle giants. But we're here to destroy the environment and make a profit, so get out of here. Dragon Durant sends his regards. All right. Now that we've abused a harmless creature in the name of Dragon Durant of the Yasuhiro 0088, let's figure out where that iron is. Haha. Yeah, those guys, they only run, and you can kill them, but it's absolutely, that's scary right there. And I'll show you why.
Ensure the hub is built on spacious open terrain close to the presence of iron sources. Failure to do so will likely result in non-optimal progress.
So these things are a pain to hit. They just kind of flop around sometimes too, it looks like. I don't know how they survived like natural selection if half of what they do is just flop around. Oh shoot, you're right, this is pure iron. I didn't even notice that before. I really nailed the starting zone choice. I'm gonna have all the iron. Lizard doggo. Alright, I'm gonna break this thing because I don't like having these on the nodes because I'm obsessive. Alright, now I can build the hub, which is this whole thing. Doesn't look like as much as it looked like it was going to be.
Congratulations. You have unlocked Hub Feature Manual Craft Bench. Hub Feature Hub Terminal. Fifth objective. Complete Hub Upgrade 1. Note: the Craft Bench and Hub Terminal are essential for progression to the next objective.
Yeah, I'm pretty much rolling in the pure iron in this place. I'm going to have just iron out the wazoo. It's going to be fantastic. Just you wait and see. So what I was just doing here is there is a progression to this game. There are goals, and the way you access those is primarily through the hub terminal by doing the different tiers, each with one or more milestones. So I was just selecting that. Here it tells you what you get for completing it. And to do that, I need 10 iron rods, so I'm going to do that. Yeah. So the resource nodes for metals and such come in varying degrees, and it determines how much you get when you're mining it. Now that I've done that milestone, you can see my hub is upgraded a little bit, and I've gotten a storage box.
Building workshop, equipment, portable miner, inventory, additional slots, hub feature, personal storage.
So I can now pick the second milestone.
Complete hub upgrade 2. Note: portable miners require no power and will mine a node until their inventory is full. Note: multiple portable miners can be used on a single node.
And so now I have that hub milestone for upgrade number 2, which I could absolutely do right now. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build the equipment workshop. I need to make plates first. And that will give me the ability to make portable miners, which I can then put on a node, and it'll just mine it automatically for me. Really going into that, destroying the environment for profit situation of just letting the machines do all the work. And for that, I need more rods. And that's sort of how this game goes. You look at stuff and realize you need more stuff to make your stuff. But it's a nice game to just kind of drop into and have the ability to just play the game without having to think too much. You just go in. I mean, you can absolutely play this game in a way where you have to think a lot, but I don't like to do that because I'm dumb. So instead, I play this game mindlessly, primarily. You can see my little portable miner goes from being a box to a little drill. Very Iron Man-y looking. There's a tree in my workshop. What was the other thing I can build here? Oh, it's just this, which I've already got, so I have no need to build it again. And in the very earliest stages of this game, a lot of it is just this, where you're kind of manually crafting everything. But the further you progress, the more machines you unlock, and the more things you can automate. Yeah, so we're still kind of in that stage of just manually crafting everything, but we will be moving on from it soon enough. We should get the option to get some automated mining options, I think. Nope, not yet. We just get the smelter is our first one, which helps with making the ingots. But the mining for now, this is the best option I have, which, as you can see, I just got 100 out of that thing. It wasn't on there for very long. So they're pretty handy to have the machines doing your work for you. All right, and that gives us our plates and rods for the next upgrade. Now we've got walls. We've got walls, and we've got an interior space that we can do absolutely nothing with.
Congratulations. You have unlocked hub feature,
But
biomass burner, scanner feature, copper.
get access to the
buildings and
next
recipes, which can be found in the
milestone.
and craft bench, respectively.
And
Objective:
I can now
complete
make
hub
the
upgrade
smelter
plan.
and power
Connect
lines.
buildings to a biomass burner for power. Note: buildings such as
And
the
those
smelter
power lines
require a recipe to be set.
connect to this thing that
Advice:
Ada
automated
is telling me
smelting
about, but
process
I'm not
and use
listening to.
portable miners for optimal results.
And these biomass burners, they just run on all of the foliage that you can shove into them. So I'm going to just pick up a bunch of that real quick, because I'm going to need power soon. And eventually I can get a better option for harvesting all the plants and stuff, but this is the best I can do right now. I didn't realize I could just grab that tree. No, let me have the leaves. There we go. Again, obsessive. I apologize. So I think what I want to do then is probably make a smelter. That makes sense to me. So I'm going to need copper for that, which means I'm going to scan for copper ore. Figure out where the copper is, not too far in that direction. And on the way, I'm just going to grab a bunch of leaves. Eventually, I will have a chainsaw which can actually take down the trees and stuff, and it also gets rid of like the leaves and stuff in a large area very quickly. All right, so starting in this zone, I really have to just contend with these little bugs, these bug things. And basically forced to just take some hits in fighting them. Look at that, pure copper. It's pure everything in this place. I am a winner. I should have probably made a portable miner before I came here. That would have been the smart thing to do. Because then I could just put it on there and have it automate the process for me. But instead, I didn't do that. So now that we've got some copper, we probably have enough. We probably have enough to make these wires we need here. Because I only need 20 of them. Wait, what am I building? I don't care about the milestone, do I? That would be insane. Why would I care about milestones? Milestones are for losers. I instead want to build a smelter. So I need 8 wires. Pretty cheap there, and then I need more iron. And once I have this smelter, it will cut down on the amount of this that I have to do, because it'll make these ingots for me by just having me put in the ore itself. Let's have it go this way. Why did I want it that way? I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just pretending. And you're just going to have to deal with it. Really? Is this really? Okay, so I can't make concrete yet, which means I can't make those things. So I'm going to move this. Because I don't think I would be able to put a wire to it from over there. So instead, I'll put it right next to the biomass burner so that I can connect it easily. Yeah, the milestones are perfectly fine. Like, it's a nice, reasonable, relatively small goal, you know, until you start getting to the higher tiers. And then they have big milestones where you have to put in very large quantities of very complex constructions, and it's just a lot. You just have to deal with a lot. So now I have connected these, so the burner is turned on, and I'm going to want this to start smelting my iron. That's not iron. That's iron. So this is automatically smelting my iron into iron ingots now. I just put in a stack on the one side, and it will leave me with a stack on the other side. I could do conveyor belts in and out of it, but right now there's no point because I have nothing to connect those conveyor belts to. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab that, and I want to get the stuff to make another miner so that I can put one on the copper, and then I will be able to easily get larger quantities of that. Without having to go and hand mine it myself. And before I go, I'm just going to try to top this off a little bit. And we're going to go find that copper again. one interesting thing I think about this game is that, like a lot of survival games and stuff, which this is kind of in that same genre for the most part, but it's different in that there's really not a huge threat to your survival, as it were. There are hostile creatures and there is fall damage and stuff like that, but you don't have to protect, you don't have to worry about monsters coming in and damaging or destroying your stuff or coming after you. They pretty much live in their own areas and they'll only cause you trouble if you cause them trouble. Yeah, there is also poison gas, which there are means to bypass later on as you progress as well. But yeah, it really, the threats in this game exist in certain areas to make it more difficult to get certain resources. That is largely kind of how they design it, for the time being at least. That may change in the future, I don't know, but I know they've made a point that they don't ever plan to make like a need to protect like your machines and factories and stuff. They don't want that sort of gameplay in Satisfactory, but maybe in the future we will see other kinds of threats and such. Yeah, fully man versus environment sort of a situation. I can't connect something to that. So I've made another smelter so I could do the copper, but right now I can't power it because I can only have the one wire going. What I can do is get it ready to go though, and instead work on this next objective, which I would actually need that copper for because I have to manually turn that into wires. Yeah. The end game of Satisfactory, after you've unlocked everything so far, is just making the most efficient factories, I suppose. But at a certain point, there really would be no reason to keep making it more efficient because you've already unlocked everything. But that's just kind of the nature of early access, I think. There is yet to be a complete game. But what there is currently is pretty solid. It's a really solid platform that they've built for everything so far. And now I've upgraded the hub again, and I've got stuff in the room now. Fully furnished. I've got a toilet even. Again, this room is entirely pointless. Entirely pointless.
8th objective, complete hub upgrade 4. Note, use power poles to expand the power network for optimal results.
Yeah, the crazy things that people build, like I've seen a mixture of people recreating real life structures as well as just doing wild construction out of what the game provides for you. There's a lot of options for just making things look real nice. A lot of different ways you can decorate everything that you build and all of that. So there is quite a bit to the game when it comes to just building factories or whatever you want to build out of it. Let's top that off real quick, make sure I'm going to have enough power. But I can make some new things now. I can do the constructor, which I'm not going to do just yet because there are more valuable things, and I don't even know if I can make all the parts for that. But what's important is the power pole Mark 1, which will let me connect multiple things to my power line, because I can connect that to the power pole, and then the power pole has multiple outputs that I can wire from it. So To make one of these, we're going to need some wire, some iron rod, and some concrete, which I can now make with limestone, which is, in most places in this game, pretty abundant. So it looks like it's pretty close to the copper over this way. So we'll just swing by over there, grab what copper has been mined, and actually, we're going to build a portable miner for that as well before I go over there and have to mine it all manually. And I can never remember what things are made of, so let's just do this. Get some rods, get some iron plates, build our portable miner. This is exactly how this game goes. Just a lot of running around, forgetting things. Sometimes, if you're lucky, like just this time, remembering it before you go too far. Let's go ahead and pop this scan again real quick, just to check again. It may be up on that cliff, which I may not be able to reach. Let's do some adventuring. We're gonna see where this is. Oh, maybe it's over here. Could I be so lucky? I cannot. All right. If we are lucky, though, with me wandering around aimlessly here a little bit, we might find some of those other types of enemies and see what that's like. I certainly know, but not everyone does. I may have found the way up. And I've done so without facing any of the local wildlife, which is convenient for my personal well-being. Where am I? It's over here. Okay, I got lost already. That's a good sign. Why am I up here? I don't need to be up here. All right, so this is kind of an... Oh, that was a bad jump. That was almost bad. Could have been worse, but it was almost bad. All right, more of these guys. The best thing in the game to fight. Definitely an easy enemy to strike, which is my favorite thing. Never have any trouble with these guys. Not even once. Just, you see this mastery, this absolute expertise in this gameplay. Top tier stuff. I could go pro. All right, we've done it. We have slain the vicious foes. And we've got our limestone here. Is this one gonna break? Does this break? Is this one of the breaky parts? There it is. So we've gotten that initial limestone. We'll go ahead and throw down our portable miner. But I'm going to grab a little bit more as well, just to make sure I have enough, which that should be good enough. This, I don't know if going with this node was ultimately the best idea, but it's what we've gone with, and now we're just going to hope that this doesn't hurt too much. It did not. I think I may have gotten lucky on that fall, because I don't have a ton of health left, which I could fix. I have a ton of these things, which I can just chew on and get healthier. Just like new. All right. What was I planning to do? Oh yeah, I was planning to make a power pole, which will need concrete. Didn't realize I only needed one. I should have known that. Need one of these. And I need a bunch, not a bunch of copper, I need a bit of copper. And there we go. That is going to be our power pole. And I need more copper. Which means I need to make more ingots. Yeah. I feel like No Man's Sky has got a really solid base to build off of. And even some of the elements they've built out into really good gameplay elements, but there's still certain parts that feel lacking and things that they could definitely expand on, which I would absolutely be looking forward to when that happens, because I am also a fan of that game. Just it didn't grab me quite as much as this one. This one really just held me hostage for quite a while. Yeah, but there we go. Now I've got my copper being made into ingots as well as my iron. And with the constructor that I have, I could further refine that iron into the plates and rods. I could refine the copper into the wires and then into the cables that I've been using. But that would be a lot of buildings, a lot of machines to have right off the bat. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to work on this next milestone for the next hub upgrade, which means I'm going to be... Actually, because I need 75 iron plates, I might build that constructor instead, because otherwise I'm just sitting at a machine for a long time, and that's less fun. It's really, really better when you can just let the machines do at least some of the work for you. Some of the ones that take a little bit longer. All right, we need more screws. Screws play a huge role in being tedious in this game. Everything needs screws. It makes sense, but man, it's so many screws. It's just so many. We're going to just do some wild improvised factory building here with no regards to what is well organized or anything of that sort. And I need more plates to make my belts. Absolutely screwy. Good one. Haha. But really. Now, first conveyor belt in the game. There it goes. And you see my nice shiny ingots going into the constructor. And we will see this thing spring to life as it starts turning those ingots into plates. And those plates will live right here. And just for fun, I'm going to throw what plates I have already on there. And once this stack is at 75, then we have completed our goal. I do have some more ore in my inventory, so I want to top off the machines here so that I'm not holding a bunch of junk in my inventory. Now we need... Whoops. We need 20 cables, so while that is making the plates, I'm going to go ahead and make the wires. The plates are exactly whatever I tell them to be, and they're just going to have to deal with it, because that's the kind of ship we're running here. We work for Fix-It, and Fix-It is king. All right, we've got those two resources complete. Now we just need to wait on these plates, which we'll need to that's not the best way to do it, but I can actually go and grab some more ore here and throw that into the machine as well. Because I've run out of iron ore. I do have plenty of iron, but the ore was a necessity. All right, there we go. Cleaned out the ore from my inventory. Don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Now it's just waiting on these plates. While those plates are going, maybe I will make another constructor. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if I want to. And in seeing if I want to, I mean we're just going to do it. And to do that, I'm going to need to make more cables. Phasmophobia, that's a game that I would absolutely love to jump into again. It's been ages, but I still really have no idea how to be good at the game or how to play it properly, but I would always be down for giving it a shot if I can find some people to play. Yeah. How many of these did I need? I need 6 for one, so I need 6 more. It absolutely could be. People really do like watching streamers jump out of their chairs, which you wouldn't really see with me. Not much of my chair is shown here, as you can see in the corner of the stream. But, you know, people might like to hear me being scared. And if they do, like, who am I to deny them of such things? All right. Now, yeah, there we go. I've run out of power for the first time. My biomass burner has run out. So I'm going to go pick more flowers. Which is absolutely just me running around mashing a button to very quickly tear entire plants out of the ground. Just massive ferns. There you go. We're back online. Look at that. It's beautiful. Almost got those 75 plates done. In the meantime, I'm going to build some more plates so that I can make wires for me out of all this copper, which I don't need to do that, but I will do this. And I'm going to steal these. They're mine, so I can steal them. It's okay. I mean, if holding your hand is what it's gonna take, then you know, so be it. We do what we've got to do. All right, and I haven't actually put power to this one, because I didn't think about it. That would require me building another power pole. But before we do that, we've got enough plates, which means we can do the next milestone and see what that unlocks. Is it? Nope, not that one.
Congratulations. You have unlocked
more inventory space.
Inventory additional slots.
And
complete hub upgrade 5. Note. Portable miners cannot be connected to conveyor.
Pretty sure I was already doing conveyor belts.
Construction of buildings. Note the placement of conveyor belts.
All right. So this milestone is important because it will get me access to the automated miners, which I can connect conveyor belts to, and then those can run automatically into my machines that are doing the smelting and such, instead of me having to run to those and manually drop off the ore. So it's definitely a good thing to do. And to help me out with that, I've switched this thing to now be making the iron rods. And I'm going to go ahead and make a power pole so that I can connect the other machine there to the power. I need more wires. I don't know. Hold on. What are you talking about? I've been exclusively putting the appropriate ore into the appropriate machines. Calm down. I trusted you, and this is how you betray me. Yeah, now that I've got another power pole, we're just gonna wire them like this, connect there, and now this will be making my wires, which I'll then need to refine into cables. While this is making the rods, that leaves me to do a bit of concrete making, which I don't have enough limestone for, so we're going to go on an adventure once more to get limestone and more leaves. And you know what? Let's grab the copper. All right. This game also has a multiplayer, and unlike No Man's Sky, unfortunately, this game doesn't have severe desync issues, which means you can happily build together as a crew. Unfortunately, No Man's Sky doesn't quite work as well, which is why on what am I saying? Which is why I don't think I have any huge interest in playing No Man's Sky multiplayer too much, because it would be really cool to get on there with some friends and build a base and such, but when the desync makes that not work out, it not really an option. So, but you know, if I can convince anyone else to get this game at some point, that was... How did that not hurt me? That seems like maybe bouncing off the walls saved me. Yeah, maybe someday I will find some people who want to play this game, because I love this game so much. And it is definitely a lot of fun to play multiplayer as well, because like right now what I'm doing, it kind of feels like a lot when you're doing the entire thing, but when you can split up the goals and have other people doing certain parts while you're working on different things, it definitely eases the process along, and you get to you know, kind of fight over how to design your factories and all that good stuff. Good times. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. I need more iron. So again, you're seeing why it's going to be incredibly important to get this milestone as soon as I can, because then I'll get the automated mining, and then once I have that automated mining, it's all a lot smoother from there. Yeah, Satisfactory, it'll really pull you in, and you have to fight for your freedom. Like, it's a struggle. It's a lot. But it's also a great time. The only problem I really have with this game is that I feel like if I played it as much as I would want to, I wouldn't get anything else done. I would just spend my entire life in this game. I feel like I'd maybe get bored eventually, but it would take a while. Like I said, people do some pretty crazy things in this game, and if I invested as much time as I'd like to in it, I'm sure I could do, you know, maybe a fraction of what they do.
Congratulations, you have unlocked Building Miner Mark 1. Building Storage.
There we go.
Hub feature, additional biomass burner. 10th objective, complete hub upgrade 6. Note, there are no notes.
All right, and I'm going to switch this back to iron plates because I'm going to want those for conveyor belts, which are going to be incredibly important here as I start building conveyor belts, just absurdly long conveyor belts for the time being, between where I get my ores and things and where I'm building all my stuff over here. I could absolutely keep all of the mining operations and refinement and stuff localized, but this early in the game, it runs a lot easier if you have stuff just kind of coming to a central location where you're doing all your stuff. Then you don't have to spend all your time running off to different places and all of that. It's just easier that way. And to start that, I'm going to go with the limestone, which is the least needed resource of the three, but it is continuously a necessary component, and I have to run the furthest to get to it. So it makes the most sense to go for it right out the gate as the first one to get a miner. I don't have enough concrete yet to do all three, but I'll get that as soon as I get up there as well. So it's another reason to grab it first. And then, since I'm going to be over here, I can put one on the copper as well and start running that over to my hub with conveyor belts. All right. This truly is the most tedious path to go to get a basic resource. But now I can pop open the menu, throw the miner right there. And here's the thing I just realized. These require power, and I did not plan on that. I do have some resources, but I don't have the cables, of course. All right, fantastic. Let's actually see if I perhaps could do something crazy. Build one of these, which I don't think I need to actually stand in it. Nope, this isn't useful. I needed the other one. There we go. Build a craft bench so that I can make some cables so that I could actually run my power, because that would have been unfortunate to have to run all this way a second time to wire it all up. So if I just build an excess of wires right now, then we will be perfectly fine. Everything is going to go just fine. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I didn't look at this very well before. There's some waterfalls here, bit of a river, but I don't think this is going to be useful for actually sourcing water as a resource later on. I would need to go way over there to that lake, it looks like, which somehow I didn't notice before. But that is all thoughts for another time. Things for me to worry about later. Don't even have to think about any of that right now. How am I going to get this down there? That's the question. Can I do some wild conveyor belt construction here? Let's see. It's way too long if I do that. So, yeah, this is going to be this is going to be a nightmare. Like, it's going to look completely absurd. But we're going to go for it anyway. And hopefully there's actually a path that I can make work here. I don't like that. I don't want it to clip through the terrain. Oh, ha ha ha! It's Has to go a bit of a long way to get down there, but there we go. We've done it. And where is my power pole? I need to connect that as well. That I don't have enough copper wire for that. I don't have enough copper wire for that. Okay. You're temporary, so I don't care if you're clipping. We'll get this wire going. Completely forgot that that was a necessary part of running electricity somehow. And now we are going to be good to go. This is terrible. I don't like that. That's ridiculous. There is an option later on in the game to do a vertical lift for conveyor belts, which would make this a lot neater and it would have been a lot easier to build, but I don't have access to that because we are still so early into the game. I need to pick up this portable miner. Whoops. And build another miner here. I'm missing concrete. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it grabs you and it's just a comfortable game to drop into and not have to worry about anything and just exist in this strange world that this game takes place in. Connect the wire to there as well. I think we're done here. Let's go ahead and start running our conveyor belts. Oops, what am I doing? How does one play this game? I would think with how many hours I've put in, I would know. But I'm out of plates. I really somehow thought those iron plates would last longer. I should have known better. So one thing about the way that I like to play this game, which isn't the way everyone plays it, but I don't like to have my stuff wildly clipping through things. That bugs me. So if I can make it in a way that all my stuff is just neatly connected without things phasing through solid objects, all the better, in my opinion. Oh, and you can see now I've got a second biomass burner, actually, which will be useful because I will certainly need more power eventually than what I can produce. But for the time being, I only need the one, so I'm going to only worry about the one. But what I'm going to want to do is going to make a disgusting in the middle of nowhere pole right there, just so that I can connect these horribly placed machines for the time being. All right. So everything... What was I about to start saying? Everything what? That there was no plan to that sentence. But yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of plates. So yeah, actually, I think this is set right already. Anyway, let me go ahead and pick up this iron. Get that going, so that soon I can. Why? What have you done? Oh, I've run out of power already. Well, let's just put these flower petals in for now. And we'll start picking up some more. Actually, let me see. No, it's definitely That's not a good sound. That means I have too many machines. That means I do need to use both burners. And I am wildly unprepared for that. So we're going to go on a leaf collecting adventure again, so that I can keep my machines going so that I don't have to worry. Man, I've got this great lakeside property and again, really? Come on. I don't need that right now. No, I don't. All right. So I've already overloaded my machinery, it seems like, because I have the 2 default burners, and that is not providing enough power for what I have running. Or else this just ran out of fuel immediately. That was the obvious thing. I definitely knew that. I thought it turned off for a different reason, but it didn't. Now I can go ahead. I should have enough plates, hopefully. Oh yeah, absolutely. Easily. And go ahead and pick up this. Means I can put down another miner, which, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to tear down the whole iron assembly here, because it would make more sense right now to have those be built based on the miner, because why wouldn't I have it closer? And we'll just put this guy down right here, loop that belt around there, have this making our plates, have this doing our iron, and now we just need to run power to it. That wasn't a logical setup anyway. Disgusting. Why would anyone do this? Absolutely, technically, a waste of resources to build an extra pole like that. But I just had to. There was no other option. I've also unlocked the storage containers, which means I can further build this out to have it automatically put the iron plates that it is going to create into the storage for me. So it won't have just a capacity of 1 stack of 100 iron plates or whatever. It will have this many stacks instead. I see you over there working. That's a lot of wire. And what is this? This is copper. So I'm going to throw some more copper into here, keep this going, and get it out of my inventory. And what did I have for plates? I have a ton of plates now, which may or may not be enough. We'll see. But hopefully I can run that copper and the limestone over to my machines. We'll start with the copper because it's the one that I'm actually actively going to be using the most. Which I may just have enough to do this. I am 2 plates shy. That's incredible. So, grab my plates out of the storage there, and I'm good to go. Just like so. Now, I don't have to do anything with the copper anymore. It is fully going to run the copper from the source into the machine. The machine is going to refine it into ingots. Those ingots will be turned into wires. I just need to take the wires, and I could even make a storage container for that as well. So that all of my wires will be in one place. And then what else can this do? This can do wires cable. So what I could do later is build another constructor to turn the wires into cables, but I don't need it so desperately. So I'm not going to bother with that. The resource nodes never expire. I don't think their plan is to ever change that. It seems like that is part of the intention, because the map is handcrafted. It's not like procedurally generated or anything. The resource nodes are placed specifically by the developers, and so eventually, if they did run out, you would have to run out of resources one day. So instead, you've just got infinite resources, but the thing that kind of limits you is going to be a mixture of space for actually putting out your machines and power for keeping them running. But power is also, in the context of the game, an infinite resource, because similar to how the ore will never run out of resources, the coal that you can use or oil that you can use for fuel later on will never run out either. So you can just have everything infinitely powered once you get to that point. Absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, like and as you can see here, like my conveyor belts, like they're packed. And it'll get to a point where the conveyor belts may even stop running because the machines are getting full. But yeah. So if you have too low of a purity for what your machines need, that can kind of slow down your production and stuff. So that's why, yeah, absolutely why the purity matters, is just keeping all of the machinery flowing at optimum capacity. Now, these plates take a minute to make, actually. So that's going to be the thing that probably takes the longest. The wires should be pretty quick. And the concrete is also pretty quick. But I could just do that one by hand, but I think I'm going to build a constructor to run my concrete for me, because that's what we do. We make machines. And I'm just going to do this one over here because the other areas are slightly more crowded, nearer to the hub. I don't know why it's lifting itself up like that. A whole, depending on where I put it, but that doesn't matter too much. All right. Now I just need to run the conveyor belts to the ones that have the limestone, and everything with my concrete will be flowing. And with these smaller plants, I don't worry about clipping as much because I can just pick those up. It's mainly like trees and rocks and solid terrain that I worry about. It is the concrete now that is limiting me. Fantastic. That's the thing I'm trying to fix. Cool. My favorite. We'll go ahead and pick up these plants on the way because we are going to need more fuel. We don't have a solid storage of fuel just yet. So we're going to load up more leaves. And we're going to make a concrete, because that should be all I need to make the conveyor belt, because the conveyor poles require concrete, and you need those at every point where the conveyor belt has to connect to another one. Oh, I don't have enough plates. I didn't pay attention to that part. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab more of those iron plates. All right, and you know, it doesn't feel like it's been that long that I've been playing this just now, but already there's several machines. Feels like that quickly a lot has been done, even though there is a lot more to do, and there will eternally be a lot to do because this game never properly ends. But for the time being, it's all going as it should be. The ore is being mined. It's being completely blanked on a word. Now I'm looking like a fool. Refined. There we go. I know words. Being refined into ingots and other such materials, and the milestones are ever nearer. So let's see. Got a ways to go on the plates. I actually have been able to put the wire in for a long time now. I just haven't done it. The concrete is going to take a minute, I'm sure, before I have 50 in here. In fact, I'm not... my limestone hasn't even reached it yet because it's that far of a belt. But I did have some I could throw in here. I'm going to throw my one concrete in there just to get it out of my inventory for the time being because I don't need it. Throw my excess of wires in here just because I can. Top these off with their respective materials. And let's see if I can grab... this is using the materials pretty appropriately. So I'm just going to handcraft the iron rods for a minute here. I could add more machines, and there are more iron nodes around, so I would be able to do a separate line to do the rods, but the rods go pretty quick, so I'm not too worried about it. I only need 100, and that'll be over relatively quickly. In the meantime, the machines otherwise are making the concrete and the iron plates, so it's being split up between the machines and me pretty well there. The longest thing is, the thing that takes the longest is going to be those plates for sure. And my power's shut down. I think that's probably because this one ran out of fuel. For the time being, I can put that in there while I take the opportunity to go grab more leaves. We've got a bunch still around the place here. And this is all going to get to be a lot less of an issue. It's going to be a lot easier to deal with when I can get a chainsaw. But that's still a little ways away. I have to complete this milestone, and then I think after I finish this milestone, I might get access to the one that lets me do the chainsaw. I don't remember for sure. I'll have to see. It's been a while since I've done all of this. But we should have... yeah, we've got a ton of leaves now. Enough to keep us going for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in the machine. And we should be golden. Not quite 50 yet on the concrete. All right, there is your leaves. We'll top this one off with more leaves as well, because this one is actually running lower than I thought it was. And while those are working, we can get back to making these iron rods. All right, and we've got just about 100 rods worth here now. And again, the rods are quick to create, so that's why I'm handcrafting them this time, because it'll get me that hub upgrade all the sooner. I don't have to wait until I'm done with the plates and then do the rods and all of that through the machines. It's just faster this way. And there we go, just like that, 100 rods. And let's see where we are on the plates. We have 100 plates. Fantastic. That means I'm just waiting on the concrete then, which I don't recall how quickly that goes in the machine, but there's 50. Just like that. Next milestone complete. And now we've reached this tier of upgrades. Our hub is getting a new upgrade in the form of this little pod here that is going to dock with it.
Congratulations, you succeeded in every provided task. On behalf of Fixit Incorporated, I thank you for your current and future service.
And there it is.
Additional knowledge. The hub terminal has been converted to give access to milestones there to ensure you progress along Fixit-approved protocols. Note,
all right.
Future developments should be aimed at constructing the space elevator and, as such, initiating project assembly. Good luck.
All right. So, as it mentioned, the space elevator is a thing that I can create now. Takes a lot of resources to build it, but once you do have it, it adds another layer of progression upgrades. But in the meantime, the entire purpose of that pod is that now, instead of getting resources to expand my hub here and build out new components for it, now I am giving resources to the pod for it to deliver up into space, and it does whatever it wants to do with them, I guess. I don't ask questions. I'm just the employee. So now I've got these tier 1 objectives that I can pick from for a milestone to start, as well as these tier 2 objectives, some of which may rely on finishing earlier tier 1 objectives or earlier tier 2 objectives before I can really do them. But I can pick any of them to start as I see fit, just depending on what I want to do. And you know, I think the field research is probably going to be the most generally useful one right out the gate. It gets me the MAM, which lets me put items into it, which it'll then take some time to scan those items, which will then give me unlocks. It also gives me beacons, so when I find things out in the world, various like resource nodes that I want to use later, I can mark them with a little map marker that I can always see on the compass and everything. So we're gonna go ahead and start that one. Just right off the bat, drop those extra plates in there and see if already ran through that 100 and something leaves that I had in there. So again, we're gonna have to go for more of these leaves gathering situation. And this is definitely the biofuel or biomass burners are the most tedious fuel or power generation that you can get, but it doesn't take too long. Obviously, you know, we've been in this game for a little bit now, but and we've only had them, but it doesn't take too long through the progression before you get access to more convenient options. I think the first one being a coal generator, which is based on mining coal, so then you don't have to kind of babysit the generator. Once you have that, you can just line it up with a miner like that to mine the coal, and then conveyor belts to run the coal into the generator. And then you don't have to really worry about it too much. But for the time being, we have to do this whole biomass situation because it's the only option we have. All right. And that's over 500 leaves, so that should last for a little bit. It's enough for now, at least. We'll surely have to run back and grab more before too long, I imagine. But this will keep us going for a little while. Now, let's top off the iron plates here. Now we're going to need screws. So I'm going to shift this over to making iron rods because you need rods to make screws. And screws are one of the goals here. Gonna grab our wires here because those are already done. Those have been done. And I'll just dump the rest back in there. And I have some ore in my inventory, so I'm just going to refine that real quick. Because I don't like having ore in my inventory. Alright, and since we're working to that goal, we'll just go ahead and make some screws out of that right out the gate. That should get us not a ton, but gets us part of the way there. I think this is going to be just kind of the way that I do this with the screws for now. I'll absolutely end up building out a series of machines to automate the screw production later. That's why it's handy to have the pure iron ore, because so many things rely on iron as kind of the base component. And screws are one of those components that holds you back the most, it feels like. So, at least in my experience. So we're going to go ahead and get that later on. But for now, we're going to do it by hand to get this field research objective complete. Once that's done, we'll have some more inventory space, another hand slot, which, if you look at the inventory, you have different inventory slots on the character themselves. So, like, I could put my weapon there, or if you've seen me using the portable miners, I have to put those in my hands to place them down, as well as the food items that you use to heal yourself. So having more hand slots is handy because you could have your weapon and also a healing food item or something in the other slot, and you could just switch between them conveniently. Absolutely didn't mean to hit that button. I wanted to clap. All right. More screws. Should get us to just under 200. Which, thankfully, the screws go quickly, but you tend to need a lot of them. So it is just kind of the way it goes with screws in this game. It's a lot of work. Now, did I unlock any other convenient buildings? I can do another biomass burner, but I don't really need that right now. I have enough difficulty keeping these ones powered as it is. Not difficulty so much as it is just tediousness. I would rather be doing something that feels more productive than grabbing leaves, but in the end it is productive. I am doing something to keep everything running, so ends up being important, unfortunately, because I want to build machines and whatnot. Alright, let's just top these off a little bit. Actually, 290. Yeah, we'll just give this one all of them. Keep them a little bit more balanced in their capacity. And make most of the rest of the screws I need. I'm still going to be short, what, 40 or so? But will put me pretty close to finishing this objective. Then I'm going to take a look at the objectives again and see if I can find the one that gives me the chainsaw. I may not have access to it yet, but I'm hoping I will. Oh, only 24. I was way off in my estimate. That's the one. So I'm going to... this is... Ooh. I've changed my mind. I'm doing that objective in... Aha. Is that so? It didn't just eat my resources, did it? Oh, they're in there for good. I can't take them back. Never mind. I guess I am going to finish this one. I was hoping I could take the resources I was putting into there and use them on that chainsaw. Turns out, no such luck. Because that chainsaw is going to need a lot of screws. But there we go. And now that we have the pod, we get a big red button to hit.
Milestone reached.
And once it's loaded, the pod takes off.
The MAM will allow R&D to provide new technologies, items, and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool
And there it goes.
as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note,
All right.
the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
All right. Now, I've activated the next milestone, but you can see here, and also on my little UI, my HUD element up here, that there's going to be about 2 minutes before the pod returns. That means I can't even put anything into this objective until the pod returns. But that's not an issue because I don't have all the resources anyway. So we're going to be waiting regardless of whether the pod is there or not. Do have some of the stuff I'll need though, so I can start getting that ready in the meantime. Get these cables all built out and everything. All right. Kind of lost track and built a few too many there. Not an issue, however. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of these cables, no, wires, back here because I can. That is, there's no one who can tell me what to do on this planet. I am all alone. So I'll do it however I see fit. All right. So that pod is going to be back in about 30 seconds. When it's back, then I can start putting resources in. Actually, you can just see it up there. Just starting to make its descent now. Looks like within those last 30 seconds, it goes from way up in the sky to down here. That's pretty quick. And what, like 15 of those seconds was just it docking, so it's like atmosphere to surface level in 15 seconds. All right. There goes my power again. There it is. Let's go ahead and throw the petals in there. These leaves are not going to last long. So I could maybe just use the leaves. That might be the best way to go. They're smaller and harder to see. But they are abundant. You know, maybe when I get the ability to recolor my buildings, I'll just make everything blue and gray, and then pretend, instead of fix it, I'm just sending everything up to Dragon up in space. I think that's going to become my headcanon. You probably need stuff in space, right? I wouldn't know. I'm on the ground. I'm on a planet. Oh, that's terribly tragic. All those things that I thought I was picking up as flowers was instead leaves. And it was not nearly as much as seemed to be getting when I grabbed those, so really not worth it. That's a heck of a learning experience. All right. How much do I have? That's enough for now. It's not going to last very long, but maybe it'll last long enough for me to get my chainsaw, which will let me start cutting down these trees and make the power last a lot longer. I have seen the plants respawn, specifically when I had taken down a bunch of plants and then they then built on top of where they were, and then they ended up respawning and sprouting through my floors. But yeah, so I think they're intended to respawn. I don't know if there's ever going to be a change to prevent them from respawning in your buildings and stuff. It'd be nice if putting down a building or something would make like a no respawn zone for foliage, just for that exact purpose. But who's to say? It was a real problem when I made a power station that had a truck, an automated truck running coal to, and then a tree respawned in the place, so the truck would run into the tree. It was kind of unfortunate. The vehicles do kind of cheat if they have to. If they ever get stuck, they kind of start, like, they go into a special mode where they just phase through stuff for a second to get unstuck. But I don't know if that's planned to be a feature that stays, or if you're going to have to be more careful with how you lay out your routes for vehicles and stuff in the future. All right, that fuel that I just put in should definitely be enough to get enough screws to get the chainsaw, because I am going to be over 400 screws here. I only need 500 total. So I think we're going to be good in that regard. All right, 432. I'll put us at 440. I know that because I'm super good at math, and not because it was a super easy equation or anything. There's another 100 screws worth, so we're going to go ahead and make that 60. Just top it off, because I don't know if I might need these rods for actually making the chainsaw itself. But there we go. We hit the button again. And because we have to, and by have to, I mean want to, we're going to watch the pod leave again. It's worse when you it's a path you drive manually. Like, I've built roads in this game and had trees spawn up in the middle of them, which is why building elevated paths and elevated factories and stuff is a bit nicer of an idea, unless you have terrain that by default is already pretty clear. Having stuff spawn in where you've already built is kind of terrible. All right, so we are gonna need some of these, so I'm gonna add 5 of those to my to-do list because I need 5 of them, and that'll just tell me how many iron plates I need. I have way more than enough copper here. Canopy factory, yeah, just fully just out open in the sky. Just have a flying factory. I've definitely seen people do that on online. People posting their builds, and they've just got crazy machines built up in the sky. There's one I remember where they did, I think it was partially modded or they did something, but they had like thrusters that they had actually built, just like only there for looks. Because there's nothing in the game stopping you from having platforms and stuff just built in the air. It's kind of like Minecraft in that way. But what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, like just had like thrusters that must have been from a mod, I think, that they had on the bottom of it to actually look like it was like a proper flying platform. It's pretty crazy what some people build in these games. You know what? Wait, what is... Okay, it's a splitter and merger. That's actually useful, so I'm going to have that set as my next objective. But my goal right now is to build the chainsaw. And he's back. Man, look at those slick maneuvers they're pulling off. Doing fancy 180s and whatnot. All right, we need 220 screws. Only have 176 worth here. 220 screws in a single chainsaw. I don't know if a chainsaw normally needs that many screws. It could very well be the case, but that seems like a lot of screws. I'm also going to need iron plates, which I don't have being built right now because I need so many screws. I have it instead doing iron rods, which it's also on pause right now because I've run out of fuel. And I don't currently have any fuel on me. So I probably want to get that refueled so I can get the resources to build the chainsaw. Then I won't ever have to worry about it to quite the same extent. Oh, this is handy. These actually give me... These give me wood, which I think I can put in the biomass burner, and I think it's more efficient than leaves. Yeah, let's give that a shot. That might be all we need. That'd be awful convenient if that is the case. I think wood is easier to come across in other biomes, but here it's the desert, so you kind of get what you get. I'm going to go ahead and take this iron that's stockpiled and start making some plates. I need 30 of them so that I can make 5 reinforced iron plates. And I would bet I probably have enough iron rods here to make the rest of the screws as well as the iron rods that I need on top of that. All right. Oh no, I'm a fool. That's not where I'm trying to put the iron rods. I need them to make the chainsaw. Thankfully, I have plenty of iron on me still. Now, the chainsaw is going to rely on me fueling it up with... Oh, what a fool I truly am. Give me your fuel. So to power the chainsaw, you need solid biofuel. I've probably been able to make biomass for ages now. Biomass is better than any of the plain resources for fuel, and better than biomass is solid biofuel. The chainsaw runs on the side solid biofuel, so I'm just going to take that. I'm going to go run on an adventure with the chainsaw and get a ton of trees and stuff. That should be plenty to run for a little bit. Now, get this neat little first time animation with the chainsaw where it pops out the blade and everything. Super neat. But now, just like that, we can just delete trees. And it also collects in a small radius around where you're harvesting. So you can see down there, I'm getting, tons of leaves, tons of wood every time I do just one quick swipe. And you know what we're going to do? Got a ton of wood and leaves out of that. Could definitely do with more. But something I just thought about was I could temporarily repurpose this into a solid biofuel constructor. Let's go see if I can make a little storage for this biofuel real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do the whole thing. I've got the means to fuel these up pretty decently right now, so I'm just gonna get those running again, and I'll put this back to doing concrete. No reason to take it off what it was already doing. I do want it to have that concrete because I don't want to have that sitting around in my inventory forever. But we're going to go ahead and I actually want to make 2 storage containers, one for the concrete, one for the biofuel. So we're going to go ahead and make some plates and screws and all that good stuff. rods. Actually, I shouldn't be bothering with crafting manually because we have plenty of them in there. So I don't have to worry about that too much. What's important is to get the plates because I don't have those being made for me. But looks like I have enough iron here to take care of everything. The only thing left to worry about then would be whether I will have enough fuel to power my generators and such to account for the new machine, but I have the chainsaw, which trivializes that struggle now. Go ahead and drop our concrete in there. And we're just going to put, because it's not something that I'm doing a full production line for, we're just going to put this over here, kind of on its own, kind of out of the way. Get the storage container, which I was sure I had made enough of everything. I don't know what... Oh, I had made a conveyor belt. That's the issue. That would explain why I didn't have enough plates there to make the machines. But there we go. That's done. Now I can set this to solid biofuel. And I can put my... I don't have a biomass. Turn my leaves into biomass. Should go really quickly. The leaves go fast. The wood, I think, takes a bit longer. That's still pretty quick, though. But I can go ahead and do that, and then the machine will make the solid biomass for me so that I don't have to take all of the time to work on doing that myself manually. There we go. All right. Now, already it's offloading the solid biofuel logs into the storage. Good stuff. Goes pretty quickly, but that is going to be important for making sure my power keeps running. And getting more fuel is just as easy as going out to the nearest bunch of trees, doing a few swipes, getting a ton of wood and leaves and all that good stuff. Problem solved. There is no longer anything to ever worry about in this game because I have a chainsaw. And that's just kind of how it goes. You get the chainsaw, you've won the game. Yeah, what it really comes down to is power more than anything else, I think. That's really the thing that holds you back the most. So it really does feel like you hit a huge milestone once you reach the point that I'm at now, where you have the chainsaw and you can just tear down trees and you never have to worry about it ever again. All right. And now look at all those leaves. Look at all that wood. We'll turn that into biomass, and that will keep our machines running for a good long while. I still do have to keep the biomass burners loaded manually, but with the solid biomass, it'll last a lot longer, and I won't have to keep coming back to them quite so frequently. So, in fact, what I could do right now is I could split this into 2 stacks, take this out, replace it with the solid biomass. Now that's a bit more where I need it to go with the fuel, since it's now using the fuel that I want it to use. And I can just quickly turn this stuff into more of that biomass mulch to then later put into the machine. What I could even do is I could make more machines to automate even this part of the process, turning these all into different biomass, turning all these different items into biomass, and then feeding those into the machine that turns it into this solid biofuel. But this process goes quickly enough that I've never cared to worry about it. But I do think it would be worth it to actually make a storage container for this biomass to then feed into the machine, because then I don't have to keep putting stack after stack into the constructor. I can just put up a storage container here. I need one more plate there, but I can put all of these many stacks of biomass in there, and then it's taken care of. There we go. And look at that. More solid biofuel. And we can just top these off a little bit further. Give them each about 100. And now everything is going to be running pretty well for a while. And I can start focusing on this next milestone again. And just like always, the copper wire, not an issue. That gets made pretty quick. So we don't ever have to really worry about it until we get to the higher tiers. But for now, it's all good. And I'll just go ahead and throw those in there since I'm not going to actively craft anything with those. And we've got an excess of iron plates because this thing makes iron ingots faster than this thing can turn them into rods, so it leaves me an excess of ingots. And I might as well do some of the work myself with a little manual construction of the iron plates there. All right. There is 90 plates. Still need some more, but that will come soon enough. Almost there on the rods as well. Let's see. That should be enough to get these. No, not enough. That's maybe about halfway. I know how to count. All right, and I think when I have it set to plates, it uses the iron faster. See, that's 30 per minute. I'm just curious. Yeah, that's 15. So it uses it twice as fast with the iron plates. It pulls it in at least twice as fast, at least. So we're going to just be waiting on that for a second. In the meantime, I can see if there's anything else I can do. That would be generally beneficial. Actually, I can start working on making the MAM, which I will need plates and rods for, because I'm going to need 5 of these reinforced iron plates. Let's see, I should have enough to get the screws for that taken care of, so I'll do that real quick. This is, I think, the point where the game first starts to kind of slow down. There's less different things that you're doing at this point and more focused on particular individual tasks. Like right now, I just kind of have the milestone and building a couple of machines at this point. So that's really what my focus is on right now. But that is all of the plates I need. So this MAM is going to go up real quick. And we can start using that to research new things, to get new recipes, and unlock more things that we can build in that way. It's just a little small building here. And we can look at the different things that we can research. The first of which being related to these mushrooms, because we've found plenty of those laying out nearby. So we can do a little quick research with that one. We have a ton of these, so we can do that one as well. The berries are the one that I'm going to have to leave and go somewhere to find those. But those aren't required to do these later ones. I just need a lot of resources that I don't have right now. And I've used the alien carapaces that I had when I was desperate for fuel. So I don't have any of those, but that is just fine. And you can see that there are other trees of research that you can do, but you have to find certain things in the world to unlock access to those. Effectively, you have to discover the things that you're then going to research. But it looks like we have enough. That is another delivery from the pod.
Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation.
All right. And that lift they mentioned is what I was talking about earlier when I was doing the concrete conveyor belts. It's a completely vertical connection to the conveyor belts that lets you move things up and down as is necessary. I also unlocked the conveyor merger and splitter. Very straightforward, as the name says. The merger has one out and 3 in ports, so you can have 3 different conveyor belts connecting to it to bring stuff to it, which it will then feed down through a single conveyor belt. The splitter, the same thing, but the opposite way around. It takes 1 input and splits it out 3 different ways. Convenient for trying to do more complex storage and sorting and things like that. Now that that is completed, though, we could go with part assembly, which is going to be important for some of the stuff we're going to need pretty soon. Jump pads, I've never personally used, but they can be really useful if you have to do kind of more vertical travel. Pretty straightforward how they work. They throw you, and the landing pads catch you, so no real complexity there. You know what I think I might do, actually? I might do the resource sync bonus program. That will get me access to an item grinder, which will just destroy items that you feed into it, which will then give you it will give you a type of ticket, like a coupon, that you can then print out and use at a different building to unlock new things that you can build, new designs for customizing, as well as components for like lighting stuff up. There's a lot of lighting options in there, as well as other building parts, different kinds of walls and things like that that you find all in there. So we're going to go ahead and try to unlock that next because it doesn't hurt to do it. And then once I get that one unlocked, I can also recolor my buildings and stuff. So I can do customized instead of this kind of gray and orange color scheme that they have by default. So for that, I'm going to need a bunch of concrete, which I certainly have. I'm going to need a bunch of wire, which I certainly have. Then I'm going to need a bunch of rods and plates, which I do not have as abundantly as these other things, but it's hardly an issue. This thing is always going, always giving me more of those components, so ultimately it won't take too long before that's all ready to go. And we've got about 20 seconds before that thing touches down and I can start putting stuff in. So we're just going to go ahead, actually, and how's this going? Is it still going good? Still got plenty. Yeah, still got tons of fuel resources there. We're going to go ahead and split these evenly and throw them into the machines here to fully top them off, have them completely full, actually, which means I can put the rest in storage. And now, unlike before, I've got I fully have like a stockpile of fuel. So I don't have to worry about my machines shutting off all the time like I used to before. But as you can see on the chart here, I am nearing... It fluctuates, obviously, but at some of the spikes, I'm getting pretty close to my capacity. So before I make too many more machines, I would need to make another generator, which I could absolutely do, and I could probably do it and have plenty of fuel for it as well. But I'm going to only worry about that when I start making other machines, because right now I haven't had any machines I specifically need to make. So go ahead and throw those in there. So we've got that all ready to go. Then we're just waiting on the rods and plates, which I don't think... Yeah, this thing uses the iron pretty much immediately. It might actually be using the iron faster than it's getting it. I'm not sure. Yeah, it probably is a little bit faster than this is, because... Or, actually, it looks like it's exactly the same. So yeah, it's at like 100% capacity on the iron because it uses it as fast as it's produced for now. But yeah, we just need to wait for that to finish those plates. I think what I'll do actually is I will switch it to iron rods because it'll produce the rods pretty quickly, and it'll only use half as much iron. So then while that's producing rods, I could grab the stockpile of iron that it has and start manually making the rest of the plates. And that'll just finish it all up a little bit faster. Yeah, you can see it's not using it nearly as quickly because this was keeping between, 3 and 6 in the machine. Now it's slowly increasing. What we could do if we wanted to make this even slightly faster is just go over here and do some manual mining just to make it a little bit quicker, get a little bit more of the iron, and start building out the last of those pieces and try to have this whole thing done just a bit sooner. We'll take that as well. And just start converting these ingots, these ores into ingots, and those ingots into plates. And then once I have 200 plates, then I am done with that. And the rods are still being constructed by the machine, so I don't have to worry about those. Those will be taken care of without me. And it looks like I'll be a bit shy of, I'll be quite a bit lower than what I need to turn them in, but we're getting there. Yeah, still a bit shy on the iron there. We're gonna go ahead and just keep pulling from there until we've topped out 200 here. This will probably be a little bit more convenient. All right. Pretty close. Less than 20 left. It's a bit slower. It's a bit slow feeling to do it this way, but it keeps the production happening. Whereas otherwise I would be taking a little bit longer just waiting for the machine to do all of this itself. So the machines are there to be convenient and to automate stuff, which will ultimately make things faster because you can do other things while it's working, but they do work slower, I think, than you do when you manually make stuff. But there are ways to get around that as well. Overclocking might make them faster, but I also don't have the means to do that just yet. I am 1 plate shy. That is incredible. All right, this is going to be it for the plates. All those go in. That means I just need a total of 200 iron rods. I'm a quarter of the way there. It's going to take me a bit to wait for the machine to do it. Fortunately, the rods are faster than the plates. I think I've said that 4 or 5 times at this point, but yeah, what I should be doing, the smart thing to do would be to set up this node to build another biomass burner, give myself some excess power, build up a miner on here, and then have that doing the other type of iron. But you know, that's a bunch of machines, and that sounds like a lot of work. And I think I'll get to that in just a second, but I feel so close to this milestone that stepping away from it now would feel absurd. Because I've already invested so much time handcrafting things in it now that I don't want to start doing something else when I'm this close to the finish line, and like it would feel like I had wasted all that time if I don't finish it out. But I am still quite a ways away, truly. So, what would I need for that? I need the biomass burner. I would need the smelter, miner, constructor, storage, and then that would be everything, I think. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to sacrifice some of these rods for the new goal here. Grab a bunch of wire, grab a bunch of concrete, and I'm actually going to need more plates and rods than what I've got on my list here, so I'm just going to grab the whole stack. I'm going to need 2 of these, and I'm going to need a portable miner. Let's make these 8 cables real quick. Make these 24 screws. And then we're going to make 49 iron plates. That's going to be the thing, huh? Go ahead and make these reinforced iron plates just to get those finished on the list here. We can make the portable miner, take that off of the list, the to-do list, which means I just need to make 30 more iron plates, and then I will be all set for creating all of these buildings. All right, so we're gonna actually just get started here because we should have enough to do at least some of these things. Definitely build the miner, the smelter, which you just build kind of off of there, and we'll do sort of the same construction we did for the other one and just build it in this kind of loop around. And do we have enough for the storage? We have enough for storage. So it's the biomass burner that I don't have the materials for yet. And I'll also need plates for conveyor belts. I need cable. All right. I'm gonna need a bunch of cables. Gonna need, I think we've got everything else for the most part. We just don't have plates. That's the thing holding us back, but I want to see if I can place this neatly. There we go. That's good placement for it because it can then just connect to all the machines around it. So this is going to mine iron ore. This is going to turn it into ingots. This is going to turn it into plates. And then it's going to feed into there. And I'll have all of that taken care of. I'll never have to switch between plates and rods on one machine anymore. And there is my machines turning off because I've haven't yet made this biomass burner. Once I have this, I have everything. But before we get there, actually, I just want to have this running immediately as soon as the power goes back on. You know, we're just going to do it this way. Just manually make some components here. How much do I need? That should be it. And then we're going to want a stack of fuel, and I'll grab an extra one to top off those others. And as just a bonus, we're going to have to do this. Actually, I'm gonna be overly particular about this, even though I don't need to be. Get that biomass burner. Where can I fit this thing? Oh, that's atrocious. Yeah, I guess we'll just put it out in the open. Connect it there. Nope, I wanted to connect you to the one that the other burners are connected to. Put the fuel in. Top these ones off to where they're all at full fuel capacity. Get it started, and look at that capacity. Huge increase right there. Now, I'm just going to go ahead to offload as much of this excess iron ore as I can. The only use for me having it in my inventory is manually crafting it like that. And no one likes manually crafting things. And we're just going to offload some of these excess materials. I'm going to throw the wires with the cables. Cables with the wires, rather. All right. So, things are going. Just going to be 60 short on those rods. I could actually start helping that out by grabbing some ingots here and just start building. Still going to be a little bit before I have them all, but that is pretty close. And, you know, because we're kind of waiting on things anyway, I could start setting up a stockpile for the space elevator. Have a stockpile for the space elevator. Needs a lot of resources to go into building it because it is a large building. But once it's there, I can start working on those advancement milestones as well, potentially. That's going to be the point where I really need a larger kind of factory type situation put together to automate a lot of the building processes so I don't have to manually make all the things. I think for the space elevators deliveries, actually, there are certain components, like the actual components you turn in. I don't believe you can make those by hand anyway. So I would need a machine to build those regardless. But for the time being, we still need these rods. I think this is going to make us pretty close, if not give us all we need. Yeah, that should just about do it. Maybe be a bit short. Let me see how well I know math. There we go. Another delivery. We're going to watch the pod because only monsters don't watch the pod. And there it goes. Oh, and it's off. Fantastic. Good job. I'm praising a machine in a game. Okay. What am I trying to do? What's my goal here? What am I doing? Trying to do that. Okay. All right, so everything it was just saying, if you caught any of it, I completely ignored the entire thing. But it was talking about the awesome sink, which is that building I was telling you about where you feed items into it, it just destroys them, and it gives you coupons. You can then take those coupons to the awesome shop where you can turn them in for various rewards. It's just that's really all there is to it. You put stuff into it to get a currency to then unlock things. It's just a good way to, in a way, it's another form of progression for the game because it's a way you unlock things. And in doing that, it's also a resource sink, exactly as the name implies, because you're just feeding stuff into it. The more valuable, the harder, the more complex the thing you put into it, the more tickets you get out of it. So it incentivizes you to make complex things to then just destroy to get more tickets. But a way that I often have it set up is to have something passively constantly feeding into it, so that there's always at least a slow trickle of currency being built up, because then it's just always going. You don't have to babysit it, and there is a reward down the line. But we're gonna have to go ahead and pick a new objective here, which I think it's about time we start getting some base building parts, because I think maybe before, maybe after, certainly not tonight, but the next time I play this, I'm going to start going into some of this open space and building out actual platforms to give me a nice clean surface to build on. That way it's a little bit easier to organize. You don't have the uneven terrain when you build stuff. But yeah, for the time being, I think we're going to try to finish out this objective as soon as the pod returns. The rods are about halfway there. The concrete, I should have enough. That was terrible navigation on my part right now. Trying to slide, and if you try to slide uphill, it just doesn't go. But you can slide under conveyor belts, which feels fun. Also, I when playing some co-op with some buddies once upon a time. We discovered this, like, if you slide into a jump immediately, it feels like starting the slide gives you a bit of a boost of speed, which the more momentum you have when you jump, the further and faster you'll go in this game, it seems. So doing that slide and a jump feels like the fastest way to travel. And if it's not, it feels like it to me, so that's why I do it. Either way. But yeah, we're just about there. Just need about 30, not quite 30 rods left. So I'm just going to handcraft those, and then we can... I don't even need to handcraft these. It's still going to be a little bit before the pot is back anyway. I could have probably just waited for it, and this would have maybe been done before I before the pot even returned. Who knows? Absolutely pro tips. I am definitely a pro at every video game ever, especially Satisfactory. So if you want to know how to beat Satisfactory, I'm your guy. Just don't ask me any questions because I don't want to answer them. That's the only rule as a pro gamer. And just as soon as it returns, it's gone again. Watch the pod.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
All right. And exactly like Ada said, now that I can go and build foundations, I can build platforms and ramps. I can also build in walls. I don't have the means to make doors, but I can just leave a wall out if I wanted to. So I could fully just start building out foundations and making a platform to build all my stuff on just like that. But I think that's going to be a project for the future. So for now, I'm just going to finish out trying to see how quickly I can get some of these resources. I imagine I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to sit on these resources for a bit before it's fully ready to make the space elevator. Because it's going to take a while for these iron components to fully have the hundreds that I need. For now, just for fun, I'm going to build a lookout tower. I'm going to go over here. Which way does this go? It goes this way. Go right here. I'm going to build a lookout tower. This serves no functional purpose to the game, really, but it does give you an opportunity to get a nice view of the terrain around you. So you can, you know, there is some benefit to that. But, and look at those atrociously long conveyor belts just out in the open. Hey, have a good one, Dragon. All right. Go ahead and what else can I build? Let's build some stuff. Let's kind of finish this out by just building things. You know what? I could probably try to build these real quick because they're not super expensive. It looks like, you know, it's mainly the reinforced iron plates that are gonna set me back, but even then, that's not too bad. I just need 380 screws. And everyone's got 380 screws laying around, right? Let's see. Was there... No, it's just these things. I don't have anything to scroll on the menu here. Cables, I have more than enough material for. I need 40 of those, and I have a huge stockpile of copper wire right now. So it is fully just going to be those screws and maybe the plates. that are going to take a second. Plates are all set, actually. So then I just need more rods to finish out these screws. Gonna need a few more after this still, but while I'm making these, it gives it time to make more rods. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and build these plates first, since I can just get those off of the list then. It's wild to me how the chainsaw needed 200 and something screws, and these two buildings only need like 380 screws between the two of them. 2 full buildings, 1 chainsaw. Crazy. Yeah, still need 200 screws. Got everything else. I probably, honestly, can build one of the buildings. Let me... Yeah, so I can build the awesome sink itself, which I'm actually gonna do kind of in the backyard area over here, the area where I throw all the junk I don't want to have to think about. And you know what? I don't have a good power line I can connect to, but I can connect it all the way to that one. No point in having it connected right now because I don't have anything to feed into it. But I am also going to need a storage container because it's the only way to feed it, right? So I can't go to this and put items into it like I can with other machines. I can only feed it through the conveyor belt. So having a storage container that just feeds whatever I put into the storage container into it is kind of the way around that. Feel like they could have just let me put the items into it directly, but ultimately you're going to put so much stuff into the thing that it ends up being more convenient to just have the storage container anyway. All right, that's going to be enough screws. That's going to be enough rods. So we should have enough to make the awesome shop as well as the storage container. And I should have enough plates as well to do a conveyor belt between the storage container and the grinder, the awesome sink. That's what it's called. It's really just a big like grinder for destroying the stuff, though. You can see it when it's actually working and animated. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I can actually see right through there. It is just a giant grinding wheel. Let's go ahead and set this up in a way that it will be just in a straight line instead of a belt that's doing a weird turn or something. And let's build the awesome shop. We'll just build the awesome shop right next to this since we use the tickets from this machine anyway. There we go. And as you can see, it's just got a little ticket thing there like you're going to an arcade. But if you activate it, you see it's got this little shop interface. You can add various things to your cart. It tells you how much they cost in tickets. This is where you get railings, stairs, ladders, rooftops, different types of walls and doors. The attachments is the most functional part of it, I feel like. It lets you get these wall outlets, which let you do, instead of doing the full poles, you can attach them to walls that you build to connect to your buildings. The wall mounts and the attachments to let certain things go through walls and floors are really handy when you start building up factories. You have some more options for foundations, a tiny cart that is literally like a child's toy. Like, I don't remember what they're called, but like the plastic cars that you'd have for like a toddler that they'd get in and just Flintstones power with their feet. But this one is powered by magic, I guess, and it just zips around like crazy. And then here you can see some of the customizer stuff I mentioned previously. You can get little stickers and patterns and things that you can paint onto stuff, as well as different designs to throw on your storage containers, your mini storage containers. And then you can also buy certain equipment. This is a coffee cup you can just hold in your hand. But then you can also buy beacons, which, like, you work to get these tickets by just waiting for this thing to destroy enough stuff, while you can just make beacons. It's a pretty low level recipe, so I don't know why you would ever buy it from here, really, unless you desperately needed them specifically. But then you can also buy individual components for tickets, which is a little bit more reasonable. You get a lot of the components for pretty low cost in tickets. So if you really need something to finish out certain recipes, it can help. But yeah, we got the awesome shop, awesome sink. We're gonna be a far way off from getting the space elevator built still. I think my plan is probably gonna be, while I'm waiting on these resources to come in, I'll probably use some of the resources I get to start building a platform to move all of my machines and factory stuff onto. Might make my little resource gathering node areas a little bit more neat. Might set up my copper kind of like I've set up my iron stuff over here, and same with my limestone, so that I mentioned before, I could just build little mini factories on each of these resource nodes to keep my main area a little bit more clear. And in the long run, having everything go to a central location doesn't work out very well, because you just have crazy stretches of terrain where you've got conveyor belts running, and it's just ends up becoming a mess. But yeah, I think we've made a decent amount of progress here. Got through a lot of the early milestones and stuff. Let me actually find one that I would want to do next. I think that's absolutely just going to be the part assembly. That's going to be important once I have the space elevator, because it is going to unlock certain... it's going to unlock the smart plating, which is going to be necessary for the first delivery I make with the smart elevator. Space elevator. It'll also give me the assembler, which is another machine that can craft items kind of like this one, but it turns it's for recipes that have multiple ingredients instead of just a single piece. So I think that's where we're going to go from here. Yeah, at this point, otherwise, if I fully just wait on building the space elevator, I'm just sitting around running to all these boxes, grabbing small amounts of materials until I have them all. For the time being, I think I'm just going to offload all my materials, and we are absolutely running kind of to the end of the stream here now, so we're just going to kind of wrap up real quick. Everyone that popped in, I appreciate you coming by and giving me some of your time to ramble on about this game that I like too much. And I absolutely hope to see some or all of you in future streams. The next one is going to be on Wednesday at about 11 o'clock Central Time. We're doing a bit of a noon stream. Hold on. Is it 11? Let me check my schedule. I don't want to say the wrong time. No. It's absolutely going to be at 12. 12 o'clock noon. Perfectly lunchtime noon stream on Wednesday, where I'm planning to... I believe I was going to drop into No Man's Sky with that one. I'm going to be starting a new fresh game, just like I did with Satisfactory tonight, and just go through the whole progression of that game as well. That's another game I like playing. Very kind of calm, brain off type of game. But then Thursday and Friday, same time as tonight, 6 o'clock Central, we're going to be launching into Devil May Cry 5 on Thursday and Nier Automata on Friday. Pretty new to both those games. Played a bit of Nier previously, but I've never finished it. I only got a short way into it. So a lot of the story is still pretty fresh to me. So we're going to have a mostly blind intro into those games. And I'm also going to have a guest on with me for Nier Automata. So if you're interested in any of those games, absolutely pop in again next time I'm on. That schedule is posted on my Twitter. You can absolutely find it there. If you want to know when I'm going to be streaming throughout the rest of the week, and before the week is up, I will post one for next week as well. So, thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone's is going to continue having a good time, and I will see you guys next time.